Yeah. Alright, I'm live. I think I accidentally set the last live for later or something. Or maybe it just kicked me out and set it for later. But it says that I'm going live in 6 hours, but I was trying to go live now. But anyway, last night I was just walking around and I kept pulling my phone out. I was gonna maybe record them. I was just walking around late at night and just walking around. And I kept pulling my phone out. I was gonna maybe go live, and I didn't really feel like it. Whatever. So I was kind of tired anyway. I was just gonna go home and go to sleep. But I kept pulling my phone out, and every time I did, there would be gang stalkers coming out all of a sudden. Like there was just nothing going on. And then when I would start to set up a live video, like right when I start to do that, there's a car driving out, or I hear a car, or like I hear something. I think they did a siren one time. And then there's this one moment where I was just sitting there and there was nothing. I didn't hear any cars. It was like 3 a.m. or something like that. It was like really late. And I was just sitting out there, just like chilling, just enjoying the silence and the fact that there's nobody around me stalking me for a moment. And I pulled out my phone though to go live again because I was gonna maybe talk about something or whatever, or like walk around recording maybe. But then I was like, nah, whatever. I'll just do it tomorrow or whatever. But right when I start to set up the live stream, this car just drives out all of a sudden. I'm like, was he just sitting there? Like, are they just sitting around in a parking lot somewhere, on the side of a street somewhere nearby, and then they just drive out when I start to move or when I pull out my phone? Or what? Like, are they just sitting around somewhere? Because he just came out all of a sudden out of nowhere. I didn't hear him coming. Like, he just drove out all of a sudden on the street. Like, where did you come from? Like, they just come out of portals. Like, they just spawn. Like, this is literally, we're in a video game and they just spawn or something. Like, how, like, where did he come from? Like, are they just sitting around on the side of the street? Or what? And then, like, I get up and start walking after that, and there's a bunch of cars coming out on the street right away. It's like, where'd y'all come from? There was no cars just 10 seconds ago. Like, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear engines driving around. It was just completely quiet. There's nobody anywhere. And then I sneeze, and then there's 10 cars on the street all of a sudden. Like, I just move, and then there's 10 cars coming out all of a sudden. Like, they just came out of nowhere. It's ridiculous. And then I was like sitting listening to this song, and it's this song Canvas by Daylight I just found. I was listening to it again. I was just sitting outside, and at the end of it he says, like, I would call the cops, but the cops are killing me, something like that. And right when he says that, this gang stalker drives by. It wasn't a cop, but is a gang stalker driving by, right? As this other gang stalker is driving by over there. And then and that's like right at the end of the song. And right as that one comes up and drives by me, the other one is driving through the intersection over there, and the song ends right there when that other car drives by me. Like, they'll just have gang stalkers driving by me right when a video ends or a song ends. And they like synced it up with the lyrics, I swear. Like, they're just that ridiculous. They'll sync it up with the lyrics, and like, they're just insane. The robot is insane. Whatever's doing it, however it's orchestrated that deeply. I don't know if there's people pulling levers too, or if it's like the robot or what, but it's like they synced it up with the lyrics, and then they synced it up with the end of the song. And then I was just walking around outside just now, just like over by my apartment, just pacing back and forth. Like, I just kept walking this way, and then turning around, walking this way, and then turning around, walking this way. Just kept pacing back and forth. And every time I would turn around, there'd be gang stalkers driving out. Like, right when I turn around and face the other way, there's a gang stalker right in front of me driving out with another gang stalker. There's like two of them coming out at the same time most of the time, or it's just a white car driving by or whatever, a red shirt or whatever. But it's just, and like these two people walk out in the distance, and then these other two people walk by, and right as they walk in front of each other, like in front of me, there's a car honking, and they've been honking horns at me a lot lately, just honking, like not their lock buttons, just actually just driving by and honking right as they drive by me. And last night it was 3 a.m. or whatever, and I walked through this intersection, and there was this cop coming up. And he's just coming up right as I walk up to the other side of the street. He's pulling up, and then he turns, and then this person with a dog walks out, synced up with him turning at the other intersection. They walk onto the street right as he turns, by that curb that they're stepping off of. They're stepping onto the street right as he turns in front of them, from my perspective. And then the dog person is walking up the street, and there's this other silver car coming up the street, and it drives through the intersection, and it honks right as it drives by me for no reason. Like, there's no other cars anywhere, and it wasn't honking at the person with the dog, because they're like up the street still. And they're just driving looking directly forward too. Like, they're not looking at me, they're not looking at the person with the dog, they're just driving looking directly forward. And they drive through the intersection, and right as they drive by me, standing at the corner, right as they drive by that corner, like, I was just standing there watching them drive by for like a few minutes, like, y'all are weird, what the fuck? But like, I was just standing there, and it drives by, and like, I wasn't saying anything to them or anything. I was just standing there, and it drives by and honks right as it drives by me for no reason. It just goes honk, just for no reason, and just staring directly forward as she drives. For no apparent reason, she just honks. So that happened last night. It's insane. And then like I could just go on and on. I don't even know. I just think it's hilarious last night how they just drove out of nowhere. They're just constantly out there. Like this is like what are they doing? Are they just sitting there in a car wasting their life? Or what? I know some of them have to just be like they're just on their way to work or whatever, and then they just take a turn and drive by me on their way to work or on the way to the grocery store or whatever. Or like I'm going to the grocery store and they were gonna go there anyway, but they're just going at the time that I'm going. Or they're already there and then they get the message and then they stalk me while they're there or whatever, you know. But like some of them, they're just sitting around in a parking lot somewhere waiting or whatever. They gotta be like, because they'll just come out of nowhere. And then they'll be at a restaurant and then they'll just be standing in there waiting for me to walk by it so that they can walk out the door right when I walk by it. So they'll just be standing in there. I assume this is how it works. They'll just be standing in there waiting for me to walk by and just wasting their life standing there, just wasting 10 seconds or 30 seconds or 60 seconds of their life. So that they can walk out a door right when I walk by it because somebody told them to do it. For whatever reason, they think they have to do it or whatever. Whatever it is. They're just wasting time. They're just wasting their own life to walk out when I walk by instead of just walking out when you're done eating. You can just walk out unsynchronized like a normal person and just walk out and go home and have 10 seconds of your life to do whatever you want with it instead of standing around waiting for me to walk by a door so you can walk out of it. You know? Like, why don't you just do you and just live your own life, you know? That's what I don't get. Like, I can't imagine just sitting in a car waiting for somebody to walk by me so I can open the car door and then go into work. I could have clocked in 5 minutes ago and got some extra tip money. Or what, you know, like, what's wrong with them? Like, there's cars driving by right now that are black and silver. They're all black and silver. It was like 2 black cars and 2 silver cars. Why though? Why though?